Hi YouTube, welcome back to the Holtzmichel channel. Today's episode of Duck in the Fog is another new tool acquisition. This piece was acquired a few weeks ago. I'm just now getting around to finishing up the video on it. Acquisition is that, sometimes you run across a rare tool and it's just one of those gotta have items. And so it was with this one here. I've been looking for various vices for the mill, and I happened to stumble across this interesting vise here from the company of Daum, made in Germany. And this thing can clamp oddball size or oddball shaped work pieces without having to put in excuse me, what do you call them? V-blocks and that kind of thing in order to get a purchase on the workpiece. This thing has adjustable fingers, I'll show you that here in a minute, that will grab any oddball kind of a shape, and the jaws will essentially fit themselves to the work. Get you up close here and show you what I'm talking about. Okay, there we go. Now you can see these jaws here, they swivel. Right here's the main swivel point, and then the individual jaw, this is the main frame for the jaw, and then the jaws that actually clamp the work here swivel. These go around 100, almost 360 degrees. At least they'll swing around to where you can actually clamp a piece from the inside if you had a large ring or something that you could glom onto. And as you can see, I've got this spanner ring here for the parting head that I was just showing. I'm going to try and drill some holes into here so I can get a different size spanner wrench on it, because 4mm adjustable spanner wrench won't quite open up that far. Anyway, this is these jaws open up and close like this, where they both advance, and like I said, you can take and swivel these jaws around and you can clamp quite a large workpiece on here. Say if you had a large ring that you were grabbing hold of. Sorry about the out of frame business here for a minute. It's kind of hard to hold the camera and focus on this kind of thing at the same time. But anyway, let's see if we can, crank it in, and you can see the vise isn't clamped down right now. The jaws move in together. I thought this was a pretty interesting piece, so it's just like I said, one of those have-to-have items. Haven't used it yet, but interestingly enough, the Daum company in Germany makes a lot of tools and so forth for railroads, and somehow or another this little guy got out into the wild and he didn't escape capture. I got him, I think, for 50 bucks. Or 50 euros, something like that, or 55. I forget exactly how much it was, but it wasn't very much. And I thought, well, either way, if it goes to 100, I'll grab it and see what else the guy can do with it. But anyway, that's this little vise. Then there's this vise here. I've made mention of this in other posts. This is from a WMW company out of what used to be East Germany, and it's just a standard machine vise. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any runoff grooves in it for coolant. I use, as you can see here, I use coolant on this machine quite a lot, mainly because I do a lot of stainless, and then of course I run these cobalt cutters. Here's one of my Soviet-made end mills. And I love the way this thing cuts. If you can get your hands on something like this from ex-Soviet production, all I can say is glom onto it, because it's well worth the money. I got these for something like 10 bucks. It was dirt cheap on eBay. But this little vise here cost me 130 and then another 15 for shipping. Of course, shipping stateside is going to end up running you quite a bit more. But all the angles on it were dead nuts when I got it. It doesn't flex, it doesn't give, and it was in pretty good shape when I got it. The bed of it isn't all chewed up and drilled out. Let's see, we can open this up. As you can see, there's a little bit of chew in there, but the ways of the vise are still in really good shape, so I can't complain about that. And then over here is the frog vise. Kjeld Sørensen up in Denmark had one, or has one, real similar. This is by an outfit called Schmidt. They're made in France, and I call it a frog vise because it kind of looks like a frog. Oops, get this out of the way. And let's get a handle on this thing. And so it opens up like this. And you can stick your round workpiece in. This V-block here in the bottom will pop out, and then you can flip it over and you can clamp a larger workpiece. This goes down to 3/4 inch, something like that if I remember right, and goes up to 20 centimeters, so 200 millimeters is what I can clamp with this. And I can also stand it on its end or on its side and do other things. And of course it has a built-in end stop here for setting a stop for your workpiece so you don't advance it. And this was marketed by AMF, not the company that makes bowling balls and bowling pins and bowling alley stuff. But AMF is Andreas Meyer company. I forget, they're somewhere in the neighborhood of Stuttgart, Germany. Again, they didn't make this, they just marketed it. But they do make these kind of tools, and clamping tools of all kinds, and then wrenches like these nose wrenches and what have you. But anyway, there's a little insight on some of the work holding devices that I have for this mill and what I've acquired here in the last few months. Hope you enjoyed this episode of Duck in the Fog, and we'll see you soon.